over to the UK, we had Chris Billam-Smith, you know, surprising and defying the odds to, you know, defeat Richard Riakporhe in a unanimous decision. Man, tremendous performance from him. This guy continues to impress. Just continues to impress, continues to develop. His story goes on, and he avenges a defeat that he suffered to the same opponent from 5 years back. So man, credit to him. In that cruiserweight division, he has cemented himself. He's actually looking, you know, I did pick Riakporhe to win the fight, and you know, some could say that the inactivity of Riakporhe, you know, came back to bite him, and that just Billam-Smith was just war ready, battle tested, and, you know, ready to go and ready to do the hard rounds. And he made it hard, he made it tough, and, you know, he made Riakporhe work harder than he wanted to. And, you know, when that knockout wasn't coming, when that finish wouldn't show up for him, you know, Billam-Smith, you know, he just had the momentum and the rhythm and the tenacity just to dictate and control the fight. And it was a great performance. So well done to him, man. I'll be interested to see who challenges him next. It's going to be a tough test. Cruiserweight, again, tons of talent. You know, it will be interesting. I know that Jai Opetaia is eyeing all the belts in the cruiserweight division, so that potentially could be a big matchup for, you know, Billam-Smith, and that could even take him all the way into, you know, one of the Riyadh seasons or the Saudi events, and man, that'd be a huge deal for him. So, and imagine if he was to get the win over a name like a Jai Opetaia. But, you know, Jai Opetaia, a devastating opponent as well. Then as for the next one on the card, we had Ben Whittaker, the Flair master, taking on Ezra Arienka. And this one was set for a 10-rounder, and I did not expect it to go the whole 10 rounds. That's two back-to-back fights that Ben Whittaker has gone the distance with opponents that many believed that he should have got them out of there sooner. Leon Willings, I think, being a very more unpredictable and a better opponent than many actually realized he was. I would definitely put him up a level against the level that Ben Whittaker just fought in, Ezra Arienka. And that just goes, it just raises some questions that, you know, Ben Whittaker, where is he at and where he's going to go? It's looking like the power element is an issue for him in terms of able to, you know, if you're durable and you're able to, you know, be relatively disciplined with your guard, you know, you can stay in there and you can go the distance with Ben Whittaker. And that's not a problem if he gets the win, because he still gets the win. But it's where this guy wants to go. You know, the style, the entertainment is fantastic. You know, Prince Nassim did it, but man, he knocked people out, spark out cold. Whereas Ben Whittaker is looking like, again, that light heavyweight division is absolutely stacked and it's absolutely dangerous. Like, I look at that fight and I think to myself, if I put Ben Whittaker in with an Anthony Yard, and I call out Anthony Yard again, but I think Ben Whittaker gets absolutely destroyed. So, you know, the style's cool, the style's nice, and, you know, he's built up a nice little following for himself. But man, it's starting to look like, you know, this guy's level is starting to peak. And don't get me wrong, there's things he can work on. He can work in the gym. I know he's going to be disappointed with his performance, but he got the win. And, you know, and sometimes the win is all that really matters. Who does he fight next? You know, now, like, he moves to 8-0, still relatively new in his pro career. So, but at the same time, he's had this lightning fast, you know, break onto the scene and going viral and being a name earlier than his, you know, his resume would say. And it just kind of leads you to believe that, it just kind of puts you in a position of where, you know, people want to, because the spotlight is on him, people want to see him in a fight with a credible opponent. So who do you match him up with? I think the next step would probably be to match him up with an Aziz. I think that should be a fight that should, you know, that would kind of really tell you where both fighters are at in terms of whether they can really make a charge at the likes of a Yard and a Buatsi, who are that step ahead, or even like a Lyndon Arthur. But, you know, a Lyndon Arthur, again, disciplined fighter, you know, fought Bivol, looked good. You know, he looked good when he fought Bivol. Although Bivol stopped him, Bivol, again, you know, this guy is at a different level. But Lyndon Arthur, solid jab, can take a shot, give a shot, drilled, you know, shapes up well. So, you know, even a Ben Whittaker versus a Lyndon Arthur, you know, I don't really know how that fight goes. And I feel like that now after this, you know, this gimmick fight, because this whole fight for Ben Whittaker was Ezra Arienka. This guy came out of nowhere and he was like, you know, I'm going to make a statement and no one's going to call me out like this again. You can't just turn up and then get your time to shine. But man, after seeing that performance, man, if you got a high guard, you can take a shot, you can, you know, you can walk down, you got good stamina, man, there's going to be people queuing up to fight Ben Whittaker. So yeah, so he's not going to be throwing any chills down anyone's spine anytime soon with these performances. It's just, I can't really gauge. You know, the style is impressive and the skill to do the things that he does and the risks that he takes when he does them is entertaining, it's funny, but boxing is serious business and I only want to see the best fight the best, and this guy's made a name for himself, and should he fight the top contenders in that division, I don't back him to get the job done. I just don't think he's that guy. But yeah, anyway, it's opinions. So let me know what you think. I think that's about it. But anyway, guys, man, I will be back. But in the meantime, stay blessed, stay locked. No, I'm not done, man. So yeah, before I forget, man, Liam Paro, take a bow. Congratulations, man. Like, this guy, you know, dethroned the boogeyman of the 140-pound division in Subriel Matias at home in Puerto Rico. Wow, that whole thing was built. It was a huge welcome party. It was built for this guy, you know. And, you know, Liam Paro from Australia comes back and just, you know, changes his life. He changes his life. It's crazy. Wow, you know, dual performance. And, you know, with Matias, it's very hard to say in terms of what you can attribute that performance to, but man, he was just against someone who was stubborn and refused to go away, and, you know, had a game plan, and, you know, he outboxed and he outmaneuvered, you know, Subriel Matias. And Matias, you know, again, you know, the pressure potentially got to him, you know, pressure of being in Puerto Rico, you know, or what DAZN and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are doing. Let this be a lesson to Jaron Ennis. You may have the talent and the ability, you know, but these big shows, these big demands, the pressure, really being in the spotlight like they've never been before. Now they have to really perform where it counts, you know, being at home, the sense of pride, all of that. You never really know how that affects a fighter mentally. And it's not, you know, sometimes it's easier just to be on a card and just be under the radar and let the main event take place in someone else's hometown in front of all of their fans, all of their family, all of their people, etc. And you come in and you do your job. But man, he, you know, it is a huge amount of pressure that he was under, but I think he will be back.